how's it going? Max here. Welcome to another day of paid traffic tips. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I think one of the coolest features on Facebook that's been around for a little while, but wildly underused. I see it very, very rarely used at all, or if it is used, it's used like very, very lightly in dozens and dozens of accounts that we look at, either at audits, clients, whatever it might be. And it's crazy because it's like basically refusing help. It's like if somebody came to you and said, hey, can I monitor your ad accounts all day 24/7 and just keep an eye on things? When things spend too much or underperforming, I can turn them off, I can make adjustments. It would be like, and then them saying, and we're gonna do it for free. It'd be like turning all of that down. So if you run any Facebook ads, you probably get that I'm talking about automation rules, right? Automation rules are so critical for every stage of advertising, especially if you at any point think you're going to be scaling. So if at any point you imagine spending several thousand plus dollars a day on Facebook, you 110% need rules running in your account. You need them at the campaign level, at the ad set level, at the ad level. You need them for a variety of objectives. And really, it's because you just can't be in the account all the time, right? You have a lot of other things to do as an advertiser or a business owner. Running this one account's ads is part of your day. And some people don't even look at their ad accounts every day. So you need to make sure that nothing is running down the wrong path, right? That there hasn't been any type of accelerated spending, that one of the ad sets is getting a lot of the spending and is doing terribly, right? And so rules help mitigate all of this. Rules run nonstop around the clock, whether you're sleeping at 2 a.m. or it's 2 in the afternoon and you're meeting, these rules are going to be running. There are a lot of great tools out there as well, like RevealBot, that have more advanced features. They run more frequently, but they're a little pricey. So the good news, though, is that you can pretty much get everything you need to get done for, I would say, most advertisers with Facebook's native rules. You don't need to pay for an outside service. Obviously, there are some benefits, and we can talk about those down the road, and I can do a demo of RevealBot. But let's just talk about what you don't need to pay for. So let's dive into an account, and let's look at some of the rules we got going on here. So this is one of our ad accounts for Unicorn Wealth, which is our kind of financial education, financial info product, financial content hub. We run a lot of traffic, a lot of different accounts, a lot of different offers, a lot of different verticals. So these accounts are really diverse, and they're constantly running new things. We have campaigns running for a few days. We have campaigns that are evergreen. We have big spend campaigns, small spend campaigns. So really, rules here are so important because a lot of these offers have strict caps, either spend caps or CPL, CPA caps. So if an advertiser comes to us and says, hey, we want to spend $50,000 on this offer, and we'll pay you $5 per lead. Like, we need to make sure that we're not spending on anything that's over that $5 lead threshold. So the rules I'm going to walk you through today, and there are a lot of different rules, but the ones we're going to focus on in just today's tip have to do with really minimizing your daily risks and potential losses and maximizing your potential daily gains. That's these core rules we're going to focus on today. And they all revolve around CBO campaigns, right? So campaign budget optimization. It's going to be the new mainstream, the new norm come September. Pretty much everyone I know is already running them almost universally. The great thing with CBO is that it leverages Facebook's intelligence, its algorithm, to allocate budget to the best ad sets, just like ad sets did for ads. And what's great about that is the best ad sets can get a big chunk of spend. So if you have one campaign with 10 ad sets and you have a $1,000 daily budget, the previous method, each ad set would have a $100 daily budget. And so some of the ad sets that may have a terrible day would still spend $100. And even if you turn them off, it wouldn't reallocate spend to the winners. With CBO, you have the ability to start doing that. You have the ability to start really turning off things that aren't working for that day and reallocating budget to the things that are working. So again, you're cutting your losses earlier in the day, and then you're also maximizing your gains by putting a bunch of your cash, a bunch of your profits into things that are working for that day. So we need rules to do that. So what I'll do, and again, these are just, you can see how much we run. We run a lot of rules in here. I'm going to run you through an example though. let's dive into a few of these, a few of the rules that we run. So the first one is going to be a stop loss rule. Okay, so stop loss rules, and the cool thing with rules too is you can apply them at different levels. So if I want the rule to just run for this campaign, because listen, my target CPLs, my target CPAs are going to be different for all these campaigns. If you're running a single offer, if you have one product, you could run campaign-wide rules because your CPA is going to be the same for all of your objectives pretty much if you're running for conversions. But most of us have different KPIs for different campaigns. So you want to have rules specifically for those ad sets or ads under that campaign. So if I check this campaign, this is the one I want to start putting rules on, come to rules, I can click create a new rule. And now I can click this drop down and I can either do all active ad sets, which is going to be across the entire campaign, or just all active ad sets in one campaign. So I click that, then I choose an action. So the action here is going to be turn off ad set. If it's off, I can turn it on. I can adjust the budget, I can adjust the bid. Those are other things, but we're not going to talk about those today. We're going to focus on the big stuff. So turn off ad set. Okay. So for this campaign, this is just these campaigns, these lead gen campaigns we're doing with polls are absolutely crushing it. We're getting 80, 90 cent leads. So this is going to be a stop loss campaign. So basically with stop loss, my goal is to make sure that no ad set is getting a lot of spend accelerated early on and underperforming. Because it does happen with Facebook sometimes. An ad set, it isn't performing, but it's sucking up a lot of the spend, and Facebook doesn't adjust. And so you can have a really bad day if you don't take action. What can also happen is a lot of spend can occur early on in a day. I've seen that happen with CBO quite a few times, where you might wake up 9, 10 in the morning, you've already spent 50, 60% of your budget. So that doesn't have to be a bad thing if all the spend is going towards winning ad sets and you're making money. But if between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. you got 35, 40% of your spend to an ad set that just was burning cash, that's a problem, and you weren't up to turn anything off. So this is where the stop loss comes in. So basically, we want to set a line in the sand that if there's going to be two factors here, spend and cost per result. So if it's over X, if the cost per lead or the cost per purchase or cost per add to cart is over X, we know it's not profitable and we want to kill anything that's running there. So for me, because we have a lot of latitude here with our cost per lead, let's say $1.50, right? So basically, I've been, on these lead gen campaigns, we're averaging like $1, less than $1. And so really anything $1.50 and up, we do not want to be running that. That's kind of our high in line of the sand. So cost per result greater than $1.50, perfect. I want to get rid of this impressions they put on there. Now we have one more metric we need to put in here. So we need to click the add button. We need to go to spent. And this is where the stop loss comes in, because it's not time-based, it's going to check continuously. So usually if an ad set has spent 6 to 8, even 10x your target CPA, it's got enough data that day to say either it's going to have a really good day or a really bad day. By that point, you kind of have a good gauge. So if you have a target CPA of $10 and that ad set has spent $60, $80 so far that day, you're pretty much going to know by that point, like if it's really performing well or really not performing well, and you make a decision there. Again, this number can be modified depending on how high your CPA or CPL is, and a variety of factors. Your budget, you can be much more aggressive and kill things much sooner, and you go down to like a 4x or a 5x. You can give things a little more time and be more 10 to 12x. But really that sweet spot of kind of like 5 to 8x target CPA is where you want to be on a stop loss. So again, for this campaign, because our CPL is so low, we can be a little on the higher end here. So for this one, we'll put 10x target CPL. So we'll say if it's spent $10.15, which should be right? I'm doing my math right. Or is it $15? $15. It is $15. I don't know why my math is not great right now. So $15, great. So now the rule is that any ad set that's spent more than $15 and its cost per result is greater than $1.50, it's going to kill it. That's what the conditions are saying. I need to change the time range to today. And this is going to run continuously because remember, this is stop loss. So this way, if at 3 in the morning, this ad set gets a lot of spend and just isn't doing well, we can kill it, right? Now remember too, like this is a CPL campaign, this is a CPA campaign, and we were saying, at $10, we might want to be more at, 6x, might be like $60 in spend for the stop loss to kick in, right? So you just got to keep that in mind. So I'm going to run continuously. I'm going to give this a name. And so we'll call this, boom or bust. Usually I'm going to give the kind of the campaign name there. And we're going to call this the stop loss ad set stop loss. And I probably should put here boom bust many chat because this is a different campaign from the other campaign I set up. So this is going to be a ad set stop loss, boom or bust, spent more than $15. If the cost per result is greater than $1.50, we're going to turn that off. Okay, we're going to click create. There we go. So that rule is created. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm not going to run through each one because it's duplicate. We're going to do that same thing for ads as well if you want. Again, the only difference for ads would be you make that threshold a little lower. So if you're doing a 10x, you might do a 5 or 6x. If you're doing an 8x, you might do a 3 or 4x for the ads because there's obviously a lot more of them. It's going to take more time, more spend to get to that same amount of data. So that's the stop loss rule. Now we also want to put kind of midday cutoffs in place. So we're going to go create a new rule. We're going to go back down to all active ad sets, turn off ad set. If the cost per result is greater than $1.50, we're going to get rid of that. Go to today. So basically you want to have a somewhat aggressive cutoff around noon, and then we want to have a very aggressive cutoff around 3. So or 2. So you can do like 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can do noon to 3 p.m. Basically noon is going to be, hey, anything that's not profitable, we're going to cut off. And then 2 or 3 is going to be basically anything that's not certain ROI. So maybe it's your minimum ROI is 10, 20%. And this number is going to be based on historical account averages, right? So if you usually see that on a daily basis, 2 to 4 of your 10 to 15 ad sets are 20% plus ROI. You might make your 3 p.m. cutoff 10% ROI based on your CPA or CPL. But it's going to be the noon one. So for this one, we'll stay at $1.50, okay? So now we want to run this once a day. This is going to be a noon cutoff. So we're going to come to custom schedule. We're going to check these, okay? And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to put noon. So that's going to be noon to noon. It's going to run that basically one time at noon that day. Go noon there, noon. It's kind of a pain in the ass. They really haven't made this a better system of just the scheduling, but we'll make it work. Okay, noon. Okay, give this one a rule. Boom or bust. MC. This is ad set noon cutoff, and I'll put $1.50 there just so we know. So that's going to be greater than $1.50. We're going to click create. Make sure that double check, okay. Great. So we can do the same thing for the ads. And then the second to last rule is going to be the exact same thing, except now we're doing that profitable cutoff. So noon was like anything break even. 3 p.m., 2 p.m. is going to be anything not ROI positive. So for this, it could be like $1. So basically anything over $1 now, we just basically raise the threshold. And the reason we're doing this is we want to continue turning off things that aren't either profitable or as profitable, and making sure the things that are truly the most profitable are getting all the spend for the rest of the day. So for the sake of the time of this video, I'm not going to create another one, but again, you would just kind of come through today, you'd go custom, and you'd set 3 p.m. What you could also do, if you want, is have it run continuously. So 3 p.m., and you can actually come in here and go to 11:30. That way, from 3 p.m. on, if any of the ad sets that were ROI positive start to slip, those get caught again and turned off. Okay? And then the final rule you want to put in place is, because the name of this game is like active ad management, so you want to make sure that, hey, this ad set might have had a bad day, maybe it's first day, second day, but tomorrow could be the best performer. So you don't want to just keep it off. You want to restart it and play the game again tomorrow. Basically, you're gambling every day. You're kind of resetting the wheel, you're resetting the dice, and you're starting over. Over time, you're iterating and you're permanently killing things, and you're kind of raising the platform, you're raising the plateau of where you start profitability-wise, but you're still going to keep giving things a chance. So what I want to do now is all active ad sets. I want to change it to turn on ad set. Now it's going to apply only to paused ad sets. So the rule I want to put in here is spent greater than 1 yesterday. So basically I'm telling Facebook, hey, any ad set that's paused, that spent more than $1 yesterday, turn them on daily at 12. Or if you want, because you know this window of time between 12 and 6 a.m. isn't profitable, you could run the rule at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. so your ads don't restart until that time. That way you bypass the unprofitable hours of the day. But for the sake of this video, we'll do daily. So basically, hey, anything that got killed yesterday, we're going to give another shot today. Boom, bust, mini chat, ad set, daily restart. Okay. So if an ad set daily restart, pause ad sets. You can do that for ads as well. And we're going to click create. Boom. So we got rules there. We got a bunch of rules going. And so this is just some fundamental rules, some basic rules. Obviously, there's a lot more that we run. But when I'm looking at talking to new ad marketers or marketers that aren't running any rules, these are the ones I always recommend putting in first, because these are the ones that'll make you the most money and also mitigate your downside most effectively. There's obviously rules you can run to adjust your manual bids based on performance. There's rules you can run to adjust budgets dynamically. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do beyond obviously just pausing and restarting ads. But again, like I said, those are the ones that I recommend getting started with. We're going to run those, remember, on the ad set and ad level, so you want to duplicate each one of those. And you're also going to make sure they're personalized for each campaign. Don't just create a rule for every campaign. And if you do that based on, let's say you're running PPE and video views and everything, what you want to make sure is you change the cost per result to cost per purchase. So that way, if you're running it across all ad sets, if a PPE campaign or video view campaign has 5-cent results, it's not going to be factored in. I use cost per result because I'm doing it on a campaign level, and so I know all the results in that campaign are consistent. But if you are going to run them across all active ad sets, make sure you specify cost per purchase, cost per lead, cost per objective, if you want to do it that way. Awesome. Well, if you guys enjoyed tip number 6, be on the lookout for tip number 7. It's been a full week tomorrow. Super excited about it. Thanks, guys.